tell you what, the scientific mind is filled with poetry, if you ask me.
Mm.
Every invention is like a story, it's like a song. Albert Einstein will tell you of his eureka moments. That's poetry. Exclamation. The process of science, the method of science, investigation, analyzing. That's poetry one way or the other. You can say investigation is like the start of a poem. Analyzing the poem is like the heart of the poem. And there's a conclusion to everything. There's a conclusion to scientific work too. So everything, follows one another in a very great style. And it will amaze you to know that some scientists are very good poets. And they love the work for art because you cannot but beat that love for nature. A man that loses touch with the earth, with nature, cannot go far.
Mm.
The seas teaches everything. Scientists, they explore the seas. They go to places as deep as the Mariana Trench and things like that. There's life there. Anyway, there's life, there's poetry. So it comes together one way or other. So despite the fact that I studied animal physiology and all of that, poetry always has a way of coming back to you one way or the other.
Is there a book of poetry that you absolutely love? What's your observation about books of poetry?
I think it's an exciting repository of knowledge. And it aches my heart real bad that it doesn't get the pride of place it's supposed to get. Because when you look at it, every poem itself is a story. So why can't people treat it like that fiction they read? No two poems are the same. Let's not forget that.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be treated like a story. So when you have an anthology with over 200 poems in it, it's like a short story collection with over 200 different stories in it. Because it appeals to you in a different form. And that's why we're talking about this, to bring it to the fore. So when you buy an anthology and you read through, you have different stories written in a wonderful and exciting style. Take, for instance, there's a book of poetry that have gone around the world. Brenda Canali's book is a great Irish poet. It's all over the world, and people appreciate the works. People still buy compilations of works of Artigan and some other great poets like that. But I think with time we'll get to appreciate it even more. That these are exciting works, and it should be treated like fiction too, because no two poems are the same. Every poem itself is a story.
Outside of poetry, what else do you enjoy reading?
I love stories a lot. So I do mostly autobiographies. I have a lot. Like there's some I've brought with me here. Some relating to my work on radio, some relating to life. I am a big proponent of Alex Ferguson, the former Manchester United coach. There's a whole lot he's got to teach all of us. In fact, he writes a column on Harvard Business Review, and his latest autobiography is one that comes to mind. At first, I read one about him. He wrote about 5-10 years ago called Managing My Life. That was just after Manchester United won the triple champions in '99. And you have other very wonderful, exciting writers that I read. Take, for instance, John Peel. Most people might not know John Peel here. He used to work at BBC Radio 1. John Peel is a very selfless British man in the sense that he started playing reggae music in the 60s and 70s when nobody gave reggae music a chance. So most top reggae acts in the UK that went to become very successful acts, like Musical Youths and some other people like that, John Peel sampled their song first. It was called The Margrave of the Marshes.
Mm.
So I love stories, exciting stories. It's a shame I didn't bring it here because it's still somewhere stuck on my bed. Sir Stanley Matthews' autobiography is another one I read a lot. Sir Stanley Matthews is the only footballer to have played till the age of 70. In fact, he played his last professional game at the age of 70.
Mm.
And he's a man that shows great resilience and discipline in everything he does. He's the first footballer to be knighted while still playing football. All right, and stories like that inspire me. I love stories everywhere. And I read fiction too. So anything that is a good story that is worth reading, I read. Even things out of my culture. I don't know, I have this thing for Arabic and Palestinian poetry and literature, like my local literature too. Because when it comes to poetry, there are no borders. Everybody's a world citizen. And it's how much you immerse yourself into that field that does the very best for you.
What's the best advice anyone has ever given you?
Pretty much it's a prayer. And my father says that to me every time. I have, by the way, I have a very lovely father, a wonderful father. You know, he's been my rock all this while. And he says to me, you know what? He says it in Yoruba. I translate it in English. He says, "Oh, Nijora Eluju." It means you will not be full of yourself. Because if you look in history, anybody that have risen so high and comes down so flat is because at some point in time they were full of themselves and they thought it was all about them. But the moment you start to understand that life is live and let live, when you leave, you give other people a chance to leave. When you're up, you draw other people up, then the better it is for you. Life is more about posterity, not about position. And life is more about legacies, not lies. The moment you understand that, then it becomes a peaceful world. And that's what life shows you every time. That's why you see the waves of the ocean go up sometimes, and they come down. There's always going to be ups and downs.
If you write poems like Rufai Oseni, how about sharing one or two of them with us on our Facebook page displayed on your screen? I'll tell you more about that page when we return after the concluding part of our interview with Rufai. Can you please read one of your favorite poems?
Okay, I'm just trying to. Okay, this one inspires me a lot, and I like to encourage people with some of my works. This is "You Will Find Your Peace." I say you will find your peace not in the shadows of yesterday, but in the struggles of today. Toiling through this geographical jungle of villains, scampering for a living in the tightened space of time. Life will become your greatest teacher, and you will learn the solitude in pain. Your heart will be a canvas painted with a contrast of life. In the heat of the crumble, it will get hotter, burning with a glow that would even make Shadrach fret. You will learn that silence is the distance between thought and action. In this phase, you will understand that true gold does not glitter, love does not judge, kindness will always be divine. May you understand that a gentleman's agreement are not made by gentlemen. May you understand that trust is so expensive and sacrifice is an oath taken by the great. May you understand the fickle nature of feelings and the resolute nature of choice. May you understand that the fear of your tongue is the beginning of wisdom, and your silence is your ticket to peace. In the midst of life's rumbling and chaos lies your peace. You will find your peace, my friend.
Can you explain the poem?
Yeah, it's pretty simple. You'll find your peace. We pass through a lot in life most of the time, and we think those things are there to bring us down. But in that chaos lies your peace. Like I was saying, you'll find your peace not in the shadows of yesterday, but in the struggles of today. That struggle you're trying to run away from, in there lies your peace. Pretty much reminds me of the word of Tai Sholari. May your road be rough. And that's where your peace lies. In life, you will understand that your heart might be painted with a contrast of life, ups and downs. Things will not go your way. But in that difficult time lies your peace. In that difficult time, you will find understanding. And that's why I said here, I said, may you understand the fear of your tongue is the beginning of wisdom.
Rufi, thank you. It's been nice
Thank you
having
so
you
much.
here. Very inspiring.
It's been more than a privilege coming here and talking to me.